YouTube? What's going on? It's your favorite Misfit FM. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And before we hop into it, make sure you like, subscribe, do everything you can to support your favorite Misfit on YouTube. And today is chapter review day. We're checking out Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 21, titled Mangekyo Sharingan. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, Uchiha supremacy is back on top. We're talking all things Mangekyo Sharingan with Sarada, talking about Boruto, Kashin, and also some other fun little things that come into mind. So let's kind of first start off with our favorite Uchiha princess, because man, he do a great thing to this chapter. It's Sarada, man. I mean, look, for the longest, she just needed one significant moment to just get her right up for the top, and the Mangekyo Sharingan Awakening was the icing on the cake. And this chapter, to me, man, it's a 10 out of 10 chapter. I don't care what anyone says. You can tell me, oh, you're doing too much because of your Uchiha fan. Bro, I'm Misfit Sasuke on Instagram. I'm Misfit FM here. I'm a huge fan of Sasuke Uchiha. I'm going to glaze the living hell out of the Uchiha clan, and specifically in this video Sarada, because I love the Uchiha clan and I love Sarada because, like, bro, that is a 1-2 whammy. And yes, you're gonna have to enjoy it, because if you don't want to, go check out another video because I could care less. But the way the Sarada was handled in this chapter, I loved it, man. Look, I just wanted Sarada to have a moment, and she had that moment. Mangekyo Sharingan, her new abilities, that black hole technique. I'm not even gonna try to say the actual name because I'm gonna butcher it. So I think it's because the way it's spelled is similar to how I'm thinking about in Bleach. There's a character named Orihime, and it's almost spelled similarly. I think there's just like one or two things that are different. But her new Mangekyo Sharingan ability, the black hole ability, I love it. I think I'm curious of what's her second ability, because usually when Mangekyo Sharingans, they got two of them. Like Itachi, he had his two. Sasuke had his two. Itachi, wait, actually, now thinking about it, I don't think everyone had two different abilities. I think it was just one singular one, and then everyone had a second different one. But hey, I'm just assuming Sarada had the second one, so hopefully she does have a second ability for her Mangekyo. Maybe it's a Susanoo, maybe it's something different. We don't know yet. But it's got to be something. She got to have more than one. I feel like she got to have another one coming up for us. Either way, I just love the fact that, she built the where I was going to end that with on Ryu. Obviously, can't cuss too much on YouTube. But I just love the fact that, Sarada was doing her thing, handling business, and just taking care of the job. Because, again, when it comes to this fight, it was clearly looking like with Yodo dying, and also with Mitsuki kind of getting cooked, it was Sarada had to step up here, and this was a perfect opportunity for her to do that. Once again, shout out to Sarada. Fantastic way to really highlight her in the chapter. Her Mangekyo Sharingan was cool as hell. And I also wanted to highlight another aspect of this story, not focus more on Sarada, but mainly on the Uchiha clan as a whole. Because when you really think about it, the Uchiha clan has kind of taken a back seat in recent years when it comes to these new abilities that are being introduced into the Boruto realm, which makes a lot of sense because, again, it is very tricky to try to highlight one of your prominent dojutsus if you're trying to highlight even newer stuff and giving that time and lore to highlight and go in depth. So sometimes one ability is going to look weaker than the other. So in this case, the Sharingan was kind of getting disrespected for years. Like, I'm not saying that as like, oh, I'm just saying that just to say it. No, that's a fact. Like, if you look at any character over the last couple of years has went up against Sasuke mainly, obviously, and Sarada to some extent, with their Sharingans, they've been getting cooked 9 times out of 10. Versus in the past, where the Sharingan can rival just about almost any other dojutsus, even the newer ones, or even abilities in general, like jutsus that would usually we can like see through them. Now we're getting cooked by them. So happy to see Uchiha clan, they're Sharingan getting some love. Just happy to show you guys and show a new generation that, hey, Sharingan's still on top, baby. Look, the Rinnegan has his moment. Byakugan had his moment. Byakugan had a moment in a minute, man. It's kind of always been like that third little son. But hey, Sharingan's on top. Uchiha clan's on top. Uchiha supremacy. But nah, obviously, I'm not gonna go too much. Obviously, let me know what you guys think about the whole thing with Sarada, the Uchiha clan, Sharingan, any of that stuff. Let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts. Yes, the majority of the chapter was pretty much Sarada giving the belt to Ryu. I also wanted to highlight some other key things that I saw in the chapter that I think we should talk about as well. Let's also, before going too much into it, like I said, I gave this chapter a 10 out of 10. I think from top to bottom, this chapter did a good job of introducing Mangekyo Sharingan, showing us his power, showing us how Sarada was great, also highlighting the conflict of interest we were seeing between Boruto and Kashin. Now, to explain what I mean by conflict of interest, I'm mainly just focusing on how much information is Kaijin really telling Boruto, and how much is it going to affect the outcome that Kaijin has in mind. Because if you really think about it, Kaijin has the ability, once again, to kind of bring it back up to the fold. He can see multiple scenarios of the future. That means that depending on how much he tells people about the information and all this fun jazz, it will get affected or not affected. So in this case, Boruto was like, hey, so Kaijin, so if I actually came down there and helped Sarada out, couldn't Yodo survive? He's like, oh, well, you maybe, but then it's like, in his way of saying, he's like, if you went, definitely was not going to awaken it. But how would we know that? See, this is where people now can start doing all these crazy theories and what ifs. If Boruto went, would Sarada awaken? What if she did? If she not? All these fun little games you can play with it, because Kaijin holds all the cards here. And it also relies on people having to trust Kaijin. In this case, Boruto. Does Boruto trust Kaijin cozy enough to let him rock? And the answer clearly was no, because once he kind of peeped at, like, okay, Yodo died, Kaijin knew Yodo was gonna die, but the positive was Sarada get her Mangekyo Sharingan. He just kind of took the better evil out of that situation. Yes, it sucks that a character dies, but I think from the way I've been seeing on social media, not much people cared about Yodo like that. Not to say I cared that deeply about her, but at the same time, I can understand it because of what it pretty much led us to get. However, you got to also think about it. Boruto, son of Naruto Uzumaki, 7 Hokage, and you know Naruto is going to save any life he can, regardless of whatever timeline or future outcome you may give him or present him to his face. I do find some interesting thought process to that, because now that Jura knows where Boruto is, he also knows that if he keeps messing around with the leaf, Boruto will eventually appear, or maybe not, I don't know. Boruto is smart enough to know how to get himself out of the situation, hopefully, but if he doesn't just instantly dip, this could set up a fun little scenario where Boruto takes on Jura for a little bit, and Kaoki pops up, is like, hey, yo, you want to team up? Boruto, Kaoki team up next chapter, or tease next chapter, and then it starts with one of the bigger fights that we'll see probably in the manga. We'll probably be introduced to this fight later again, because I don't think they're gonna end up doing a big fight right here and right now. I think they're gonna drag it out a little bit, but they're gonna tease it a little bit with the potential of what we could see towards the end of the series, or just the arc they're on right now currently. Yes, Boruto looks like a copy of Sasuke and a little bit of Minato combined in terms of aesthetics, not really appearance, but like, bro, he's killing it. Like, he has a flying thunder god technique in one hand, freaking he has a sword, Sasuke sword in the other hand, then his fifth outfit's cool, and then he's just doing cool stuff. The aura farming is a masculine, man. Like, I love it for Boruto. Look, I remember years ago when this man was getting roasted to beginning and beyond. The fact that he's going from getting roasted to aura farming, that is a freaking climb, brother. So happy for him, but I am curious to see how their relationship between Boruto and Kaijin affects themselves a little bit during this little chaos he just created, because I don't think Jora's gonna let him run away easily this time around. Jura wants him dead. He sees him as a threat. He sees him as someone that got to get got so that they can move on to their global plan. But because, again, reminder, if Boruto dies or gets eaten, it is all over. I think the last thing I'll talk about is essentially just kind of catching up with the clones and talking a little bit about what we saw in the beginning of the chapter with a flashback. Obviously, Sasuke giving us the lore on the Mangekyo Sharingan, how he trusted that over everything else. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. I mean, dude, the Mangekyo Sharingan only triggers itself under certain situations, and clearly this was a situation where when she believes that her best friend is being targeted for death for something he clearly didn't do, and she's upset, and she doesn't know what to do because she feels powerless. And to see her dad see that, he's like, oh yeah, I know. Trust me, I got you, kid. For my daughter, I believe you. Don't worry, I'm gonna make sure he survives. That's awesome to see. That's a cool little father-daughter moment, and it's also just something cool to see from Sasuke. Because you look, man, that man is not one to really get into the emotions of things. But when it comes to talking about the Uchiha, talking about the Sharingan, Mangekyo, whatever, that's the man for the job. Love my boy Sasuke. Miss my boy Sasuke. Hope to see him soon somewhere down the road. The only other aspect would be then Jura watching Ryu die, because he's seen everything that happened on the battlefield. He's aware. And I don't understand why he just instantly jumped to it before, Ryu could have died. He could have just saved him from that black hole little fiasco. But I'm assuming next chapter, while Jura heads to go take on Boruto, I'm assuming one of the other clones heads to that other battlefield to get Ryu's little thorn soul blurb. I think I'm saying that right. Soul Blub or something like that. It's basically that little object that contains their essence, to save him. But this would be an interesting scenario. Who goes there? Will it be Sasuke's clone? Will we see that bad boy make his entrance right again on the battlefield? Or will we get Clone Bug? That leads us to the end of today's video. So first off, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything we talked about. If not, let me know. Like, dislike, comment down below what you liked, what you hated, whatever it is. I would love to hear from you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you here next weekend with another episode of the Roundup. So take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend, stay safe out there, guys. Peace out, peace, love, and positivity to all of you guys. Later.